Now we are starting our third part, which is professional experience and career. And yeah, as you know, when we finish our universities, not all of us has a chance to start from what you studied. Sometimes we are studying from other jobs. For example, I started as a procurement specialist. However, I finished my oil and gas equipment engineering. Then I decided to move on to pursue my education. So what was your first job? And how do you think that how this job influenced you for being today's Dr. Yasser Elshayeb?
My first job was a technical support in a computer company, where one of my uncles had his friend who has this company, and I went there as a trainee just to see how things are. And then after a week, the guy came to me and said, "Why don't you join us and continue working with us?" And I started like giving small courses, training on computer concepts. At that time, it was the disk operating system, the DOS, and then the Windows, and then I started this career in, let's say, computer business. But then I think it was 5 or 6 months later where I was appointed by the university to be a teaching assistant. So I came back to the university, and there I started again doing my hobby of using computers into the classroom, into the research, into the work, and yeah, it all started from there.
Thank you very much. And would you mind describing us, telling us about the job you enjoyed the most?
The job that I'm enjoying the most is creating things from scratch, or creating things, new things, something new that didn't exist before. Then we work on it, and monotonous work and monotonous work is not something that I really like. Okay, teaching, you can say teaching is monotonous, but I always try to bring some new elements in my teaching classes every year, just to break this monotonous thing. But what I really enjoy most is creating things from scratch, going to different careers, and multidisciplinarity, having computers application in things that you have never thought about before. Now I do a lot of data analysis, and data analysis is involved in everything. So also it's new, it's different. It brings a different aspect to the work.
Yeah, exactly. And Dr. Yasser, what career mistake has given you the biggest lesson, do you think?
I made a mistake after finishing my my PhD. Is that I consider it as a career mistake. Is that I stayed in the same country. I didn't want to get out of my comfort zone. I finished my PhD, as you rightly said at the beginning, in Nancy School of Mines in France. And right after, I worked in France with the same laboratory for like 3 years. 3 years. I worked in France on problems related to abandoned mines in the eastern part of France, where I was doing data analysis and risk analysis and things like that. Well, I wouldn't say it's a mistake. I mean, it was very beneficial for me. Of course, I learned a lot. I continued a lot. I published a lot. I did a lot of things. But I think that if after the PhD, I went for my postdoc, those 3 years of postdoc, I went to another country, another culture, another school, another university, I think it would have been more beneficial for me. I don't regret it for the moment, but I think it was a mistake.
But we are learning from our mistakes.
Yeah, yes. Of course.
Thank you. And also, what organizational challenge have you faced in work environment? As you said, you worked after your PhD.
Organization environment. Well, moving from a PhD context and mindset and scholarship. I had a scholarship to study in France, to a research center that is based on business, on money and accountability and projects. And if we will fail the project, we will not get any money next year, and so on. Those were a lot of challenges. Again, I learned a lot from it, but I struggled a lot as well. This mind, I mean, I was still having this mindset of a PhD student, doing research calmly, staying in my room, doing my research, doing my things. I will finish tomorrow or after tomorrow, or the day after, it doesn't matter. I'm still doing my research. Moving into the world of business, it's a completely different story. And it's, yeah, it could be traumatizing. I struggled, I learned, and yeah, finally I came out of it in a good shape.
That's very nice. Dr. Yasser, was there any quote which motivated you in your early career?
Oh yes. That's a quote from John F. Kennedy, when he said, some people see things as they are and say why. I dream things that never were and say why not. I love this quote. I mean, it was in my email signature for like 10, 15 years. I always loved it.
And how did you manage to make this quote to be part of your success?
Well, I dreamed things that never were and said, why not? I mean, as I just said before, I mean, the most interesting part in my life is to imagine things, new things, and then, yeah, I mean, let's do it. Why not? Let's go there.
Very nice. And since we are here, like, I'd like to ask about scan pyramid mission. Well, as we don't have a lot of materials in English, so and I checked in TED Talk, I checked in everywhere. Like, would you like to give us some insight?
Well, this is again another example of why not. I mean, I remember it was 2014. Yeah, 2014, when I was contacted by one of my professor, the same professor that I did my PhD with, and he was saying like, Yasser, you know, there is those group of Japanese and French that we would like to meet in Paris next week for one day. Why don't you come with me and see how those things are going on? And I said, well, okay, why not? Let's go to Paris. Went to Paris for one day and met some people from Japan, who turned out to be professors at University of Nagoya. And they told us about those little particles called muons, cosmic particles coming from the sky, and how those particles were helping them to explore the Fukushima nuclear reactor in Japan, and one of the volcanoes that are in Japan as well, and that they would like to use this technology for the pyramids. And I sat in the room for like an hour hearing them and listening to their presentation, thinking about what is this? What in the world is this? And then I went back home, started studying what's this muons are about, how things are being developed. And I read some papers, I wrote some reports. And I mean, a year later, of course, with the under the leadership of the same professor, we started this Scan Pyramids project, which is actually a very simple idea, but as well at the same time, it's a very genius idea. It's how can you explore a pyramid like the pyramids of Egypt, full of rocks that you are not able to see what's behind those rocks, but then those cosmic rays that are coming from the sky are able to penetrate those rocks. And if we will be able to, if you will manage to put receptors of those particles coming from the sky inside the pyramids, we will be able to see the internal structure of the pyramid that we don't know about it. And this is exactly what we did. And this is the why not.
Yeah, that's very perfect. That sounds very perfect. And Dr. Yasser, I would like to ask, would you like to add any other information about any other different why not success of yours?
I think the latest on my list is what I'm doing now, the why not of water. I mean, I'm managing now a mega project in Egypt called the Center of Excellence for Water, where we are creating a center of excellence. We, as the American University in Cairo, we are creating a center of excellence for water at Alexandria University with the help and in cooperation and with the help of about 20 partners. And the why not is that in Egypt and in many parts of the world, of course, we have a lot of problems about water. And in Egypt, we actually don't have a lot of people who are qualified to work in this domain. And this opportunity came, and I said to myself then, well, why not? Why don't we educate? Why don't we build the capacities? Why don't we build things? Why don't we build structures and bring people together to work on the domain of water? And who knows, maybe in 5 years from now, 5 years from now or 10 years from now, we will have graduates from Alexandria University or Ain Shams University or Aswan University, many universities in Egypt that are specialized in water that will be able, maybe, hopefully, to solve some of the problems that Egypt is facing in the field of water. That's why not?